Right now, 2 investigates after gruesome images and confidential information that should never reach the light of day is exposed. 2 Works For You received a tip that there was discarded evidence in the dumpster behind the Glenpool police station left out of public view.
Our investigator Travis Guillory is live from the Glenpool police station. And Travis, do we know how the evidence got there in the first place?
Well, Brian, that's the big question tonight. You know, was this just someone carelessly throwing out evidence, or was someone in the Glenpool Police Department purposely trying to get rid and dispose of criminal evidence? 2 Works For You uncovered everything from pictures of victims' bodies to full-page police records to cassette tapes to drug paraphernalia. From what we could tell, most of the evidence was from 2003 to 2005, tossed out back like yesterday's newspaper. We tried to speak with the Glenpool police chief. We were just told about some contents of the dumpster out back containing some exposed, discarded evidence. And so that's why we would want the chief just to validate that, let us know if there's any truth to that, just to give us that information. At first, we were told he'd be right with us, then told he was not available. So it'd be safe to say that he has no comment on this? Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you. So we called the Tulsa County District Attorney's office and alerted them to what was going on. Less than an hour later, 3 unmarked vehicles arrived and began removing things from the dumpster, combing through the contents and laying it all out on the ground before taking it all away. The DA says he spoke with the chief, who said the evidence will be looked into. The chief could request the DA's office to further investigate. Officials with the Council on Law Enforcement Education and Training and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation say that tossing evidence in full into a dumpster is not something that's taught and is not a practice of law enforcement agencies. Now, after they were finished with the dumpster behind me, it appeared that they brought all of the evidence back into the police station. It's unclear at this point if there will be an external investigation into this matter. Live in Glenpool, Travis Guillory, 2 Works For You.
Tonight, we dig deeper into how this happened.
As 2 Works For You investigator Travis Guillory shows us, we are denied interviews every time we ask to talk directly to city leaders about this investigation.
Why couldn't we speak to the chief himself about this situation?
Because I'm the first point of contact for these kinds of things.
We tried to get answers from the police chief and even the mayor and city manager, but we were told the only person we could get answers from was the public relations firm hired by the city of Glenpool. The city spokesperson, Mandy Vavrinac.
The internal inquiry that is now underway at the police department is to decide how those things could be prevented from ever happening again.
Tuesday, after we started investigating and alerted the Tulsa County District Attorney, our cameras captured Glenpool police officers taking the evidence out of the dumpster and bringing it back inside, the same employees who are in charge of the evidence room for what they say is an internal investigation. Spokesperson says as far as they can tell, it was an accident.
There were some other documents that were not necessarily just simply rubbish at the bottom of a box covered up with rubbish. When the box was discarded, there were some materials inadvertently discarded with the box that would normally not have been discarded.
But how does all of that, we're talking pictures of deceased bloodied bodies, drug paraphernalia, full manila folders of full-page confidential police records, how does all of that go from being safe inside of a police station to tossed out back in the dumpster?
That is part of the internal inquiry that we are now undergoing, because we want to make sure that does not happen again.
Most of the evidence was from 2003 to 2005. Vavrinac says no current case files were tossed out. The department has now requested an outside investigation from the district attorney's office.
If they have recommendations as a result of their evaluation, that we will then implement those as well.
The district attorney tells 2 Works For You it's appropriate that an appointed investigator from his office looks into this. In Glenpool, Travis Guillory, 2 Works For You.
And as we go in depth tonight, this isn't the first time the OSBI has investigated the city of Glenpool. In 2013, an audit found misuse of taxpayer dollars and bidding process violations. Then city manager Ed Tinker's salary was increased 9 times in 5 years, more than doubling it. His daughter was also listed as the sales rep for one of the major projects awarded without bids. And bond money was spent on lobbyists. The Tulsa County DA did not file charges after reviewing the OSBI investigation.